Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your November 2018 mid-month general reading. Thank you for joining us here today. Welcome to any newcomers. Thank you always for your likes and shares and subscribes, and those of you who continue to follow my YouTube channel. And always a thank you in addition to all of my clients out there, regular and new, for keeping me just continuously, joyfully busy with personal one-on-one readings. It's an honor and a pleasure. Thank you. If any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, live or recorded, you can get more info and contact details by going to my YouTube channel's homepage and clicking on the little About button. Or you can click on the description bar of any of the videos that I post, and you'll see some information and contact details there. Please feel free to contact me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to work with you. Turnaround time is usually pretty timely, as I do readings full-time 5 to 6 days a week. It is what I do. And I work pretty diligently with everyone's schedules to get them readings as quickly as possible. And I can usually get back to you within the same day or the first 24 hours of your initial contact. So if you're interested, email me and we'll go from there. I do a wide variety of readings of all different types and lengths in all the main areas of life. And you can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy. That link's also provided. And that's good for fast answers to fast, easy questions. So something else to consider. All right, let's move right into this reading. This is for the fire sign of Aries for the remainder of November 2018. So we're just looking at the last couple of weeks of November. General readings can always resonate a little differently for everyone because there's so many of you watching. So if you know your rising and moon sign, watch those as well. They can provide additional clarification. Okay, Aries, let's see what's in store for you for November 2018, the remainder of November. Okay, Aries, we begin with the moon, followed by the Five of Wands. We have the Three of Pentacles, followed by the Eight of Wands in reverse. From the bottom of the deck, your overall energy and focus for the remainder of November is the Two of Swords. So Aries, it looks like there may be some conflict, external or internal, although the two pretty much kind of link into each other, because of something that's not known. It looks like someone is waiting for news, information, conversation, communication, or a message that isn't arriving or isn't being given because somebody doesn't know, because there's something they don't want to look at. And I feel like for a lot of you, Aries, someone is waiting on you to communicate with them or give an answer or clarity on a situation. For others of you, it might be you waiting on somebody else for this as well. But I feel like for over half of you, that somebody is waiting on you, waiting to converse with you, to try and figure something out, to work together, to build something together. And it looks like there is some cloudiness or some confusion, a lack of knowing what you want to do or what the right thing to do is. But in actuality, there's just something you don't want to look at or something you don't want to face because it would require something of you, maybe more work or effort, or, to actually make a choice and choose a path. And you're, at least up until now, you've been reluctant or resistant to doing that. And again, for some of you, this will be on the flip side. You might be waiting for this from somebody else. So, and kind of feel, regardless of which side of the story you're on, there's this sense of feeling stuck and maybe not wanting to look at something, because your overall energy and focus for the remainder of November 2018 is the Two of Swords. And this represents, as you can see, feeling stuck. The number 2 numerically often represents duality, choices, being at a crossroads, needing to deal with something, needing to make a decision, needing to choose something one way or the other, but not really knowing feeling unclear as to what decision to make or what choice to take. The blindfold can represent not knowing, not seeing it, and not being clear, but it often too can represent a reluctance or a resistance to actually make a decision, to look at what's in front of you, to address whatever the issue is in order to move forward and past it one way or the other. So there's a reluctance and a resistance to take the blindfold off and look at what's in front of you, because when we do that, there's kind of no more excuses left. As long as we keep the blindfold on, we don't have to really look at something too directly, meaning that it doesn't require any action of us. But the fact that this is coming up represents that there's something pressing on you. And again, I feel like there's a choice or a decision that needs to be made, or the choice of a path to start down on, this path or the other path. But for a lot of you, you're kind of stuck in this place and have been for some time, kind of going, maybe not really looking at it too hard, because then it would require you to make that decision and take action of some kind. And so for the time being, you're stuck. And for those of you that are on the other side of this, and you're waiting for somebody to clarify or decide on something, again, you're kind of feeling stuck. And some of you who are the ones on the waiting end of it, it may be getting to the point where you may be thinking, is this worth waiting for or not? But you don't want to look at that too closely, because then it may require a decision from you to, maybe say, for some of you, maybe it's time to walk away from something, or maybe not. But there's, again, the same sense of feeling stuck and maybe not wanting to look too closely at something, because it would require a decision, action of some kind. We have the moon clarified and accompanied by the Five of Wands. So here's the conflict with the Five of Wands here, which can represent internal conflict within yourself, external conflict with another people or a group of people. And I just kind of got, for some of you, for those of you that are needing to make a choice or a decision, but it's very difficult for you, or you're feeling stuck in it, I feel like you may be having some conflict or going around and around about it with a significant partner. It could be a relationship issue. I also feel like some of you are are in conflict, and what's contributing to that is friends and family giving their opinions on what you should do, or what they think you should do, or what is the best thing for you to do. And that's creating more of a sense of kind of conflict within yourself as well. And you could be having external conflict and disagreeing or fighting or going back and forth with a partner or with other people. This could also hold true in the career, work, or job environment as well. You could be, in conflict, or there could be conflict going on at work, and you're not really sure what to do about it. If I look at it too closely, am I going to discover that I'm really unhappy with this and I need to leave? Or, I'll have to do something about it. If I really look at it and address it, then that means I have to do something about it. And there's a sense of not really wanting to face something just quite yet. And what crowns that Five of Wands is the moon, which is a card that can represent, again, a sense of cloudiness, deep feelings kind of stirring in your subconscious and your spirituality, kind of pressing at you, things not being entirely clear. Things look very different under the light of the moon than they do under the light of the sun. Under the light of the sun, everything is revealed. But under the light of the moon, there's still a lot of shadowy corners and hidden recesses, not exactly knowing, even though you feel things kind of stirring way down deep. So this is causing conflict. And again, because it's a general reading, this might be in different areas of your life, but it's definitely causing a lot of internal conflict and pressure, I feel, for some of you. By avoiding it a lot of the time, you may be able to avoid making a decision, but still it's there kind of stirring underneath, whether you're the one that somebody's waiting on hearing from, or whether you're the one waiting on somebody else or on a situation to somehow maybe magically resolve itself, which is not going to happen without your participation. Unless it may be for those of you for whom this may be a relationship reading, if you're keeping somebody waiting for something and it's not forthcoming, sooner or later that person will probably turn their back on you or leave in some way because they don't want to wait forever. And for those of you who are waiting on somebody else, it's kind of the same thing. There's only so long you can wait, so long before your own human consciousness and higher self will force you to kind of take a look at the situation and go, okay, should I stay in this or not? So at or towards the end of November 2018, time, of course, always being fluid, we have the Three of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands in reverse. So the Three of Pentacles is the teamwork card. It's a card of collaboration, a card of working with someone else or a group of other people in order to build something, get something done, accomplish something. It's about people coming together and everybody agrees on a certain goal or a certain path, a certain thing to be done. And while everybody may have varying opinions and ideas on how that's to be accomplished, this is about working together in order to accomplish something or achieve an end goal. And so it's about compromise, negotiation, giving a bit, taking a bit, deciding what's most important, maybe letting go of some of the smaller things in order to accomplish whatever the objective is. So it looks like either you or someone else is willing to collaborate, is kind of open to working with you, collaborating for some of you. You know, for those of you who are keeping somebody kind of hanging or waiting, it looks like somebody, the other person may be open and willing to work with you, to collaborate with you. And for those of you that are waiting on something or someone, it looks like you might be the ones that are, you know, open and willing to work on something with someone or a group of people, whether it's in your personal life or in your work life. But what clarifies that is the Eight of Wands in reverse. So in the upright position, the Eight of Wands often represents communication, conversation, messages going back and forth. Can represent travel as well, waiting for communication, waiting for news, waiting for a decision or an outcome. But it's about the exchange of communication and messages, or traveling back and forth as well, those messages traveling back and forth, or that conversation. In the reverse position, it kind of, I'm just getting this feeling of a stagnant or stalemate energy. And again, where you are on this depends on what side of the story you're on. Some of you, I feel like there's something you need to do, a choice you need to make, even if that choice is, okay, this is the path I'm choosing and let's walk down this path. And somebody is willing, they're willing and open to collaborate, to work with you, whether, again, it's in your personal life or in your work life. But you're saying, I don't know, I can't see a way. When really there's just something that you're afraid to look at. There's something about choosing a path that maybe somebody else wants to go on to, and maybe underneath you may want to, but then there's this fear that it's going to cost too much somehow. And I don't necessarily mean in money, but I mean in time or effort or a commitment. Maybe you've had a negative history in this area of your life and you're afraid to recommit to something because it might not work out. So there's this sense of messages, communication, kind of stagnant, nothing's coming through yet, whether you're keeping somebody waiting or whether you're waiting on somebody else. Now, what I've started doing in the last few months is when a reading looks a little more challenging, I'm going to pull some additional cards. I'm going to pull a card to clarify that Three of Pentacles, that teamwork collaboration card. See what comes up. We have the Queen of Cups to clarify that Three of Pentacles. So you may be dealing with another person, a water sign person, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, showing up as a queen, but could be a male as well. The Queen of Cups would be somebody who's very open to collaborating and working with somebody else. Cups is water energy, so it's energy of the heart, emotions. She's very loving, nurturing, compassionate, great source of love, of support, of feedback, always knows the right thing to say. So for some of you, this Queen of Cups may be waiting. Some of you, this Queen of Cups is waiting on you, waiting for you to show her or him, or let them know what you have decided, whether it's a final decision, no, I don't want to proceed forward in this, or yes, I'm willing to commit to proceeding forward in this. Some of you, you may be waiting on this Queen of Cups individual, female or male, or someone who's manifesting like the Queen of Cups, waiting for them to communicate with you to say that they're willing to work with you, because it feels like there's no movement. Because again, there's something that I feel like there's something that somebody doesn't want to look at, which if they take the blindfold off, they'll see a situation for what it is. Maybe they'll see their own part in it. I feel like somebody's maybe feeling a little guilty, but doing everything they can to keep themselves from looking at that, or looking at what effect they're keeping somebody waiting is having, whether you're the one keeping somebody waiting or somebody else is keeping you waiting. I feel like somebody doesn't want to look too deeply at how their actions are affecting the other person, because it'll make them feel even worse. So there's a sense of almost a willing blindness, a reluctance and a resistance to look at something. So let's pull an advice card for Aries, whether you're on one side of this or on the other side. Advice for Aries in dealing with this situation. And we have strength. The Spirit, God, Spirit, your angels, or guides are advising strength as advice, guidance. Strength is about strength is what gets us out of this Two of Swords energy. Strength, the type of strength that's portrayed by the Strength card, it's about facing your fears, your doubts, your anxieties, your insecurities, whatever it is that you're afraid of, wrestling with your demons. This is about gaining self-control and self-mastery over the things that that you're afraid of, over maybe even aspects of yourself that you don't like or don't serve you anymore and need to be changed, which is what this woman has done. This lion is symbolic for whatever it is that she's wrestling with: fears, anxieties, doubts, aspects of herself or himself that she's like, I don't like that about myself, I want to change that. She has walked into those fears, she has wrestled with whatever that is, and she has done everything that she can and has made peace with that, with strength, because that's what it takes in order to face our fears and doubts and insecurities. Whatever it is that we're wrestling with, it takes a lot of strength and courage and true humility to do that, and wisdom and insight. But that's exactly what we gain more of by going through this process, which will help us get out of this stuck Two of Swords, I don't want to look at it because then I'll have to do something kind of energy, regardless of which side of the story that you're on, Aries. So it's about, for some of you, it's about taking a look at if you're keeping somebody waiting because you don't want to make a decision, because you're afraid that moving forward is going to cost too much or that you'll lose something. It's about facing those fears and moving on, and also being able to look at the effects that you're keeping somebody in limbo is actually causing them as well. And for those of you that are on the waiting end, waiting for clarity, communication or conversation from someone or somebody's, it's time for you to take a look at, okay, if an answer isn't forthcoming and I've asked for one and it's not forthcoming and I keep hearing, I don't know, and I'm in this limbo phase, perhaps it's time for me to take the blindfold off and look at this situation and just make a decision about it once and for all, instead of waiting interminably for someone or something else to make the decision. It's time that I take control back of my own life and make the decision to move forward myself, whether that's, just saying I'm done with this, or giving the person an ultimatum, or saying if I don't know anything by this, then for my own joy and well-being and future happiness, I need to go, regardless of what area of your life this is manifesting in. So Aries, that pretty much wraps up your November 2018 mid-month reading. I hope you found it helpful and useful. Again, if any of you would be interested in a more personal one-on-one reading, please feel free to contact me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I'd be most happy to work with you. I do love and romance, of course, reconciliation potential, relationship compatibility spreads, career, work, and finance, as well as investment readings, channeled messages from past on loved ones, as long as there's a strong connection, because that makes the messages flow easier. And I also do 6 and 12-month overviews, which take a look at what's coming in all the main areas of your life over a 6 or 12-month period, depending on how far ahead you want to look, which seems to be quite popular in the last couple of months of the year, although you can do them any time of the year, because people like to take a look ahead as we're transitioning out of one year and into another one. And also gift readings, which again are quite popular this time of year, as people like to give them as gifts during the holidays. So some other things to consider. You can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy, and that link is also provided. You can get this contact info by clicking on the little About button you'll find on my YouTube channel's homepage, or you can click on the description bar of any of the videos I post for that same information. So take care, Aries. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the December 2018 general readings. And until then, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Take care, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.